The House will come to order. Today, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Representative Hamrick.
Friends, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schiebel, please call the roll.
Representatives Amabile, Armagost, Bacon, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Basenecker, Bottoms, Bradfield, Bradley, Brown, Catlin, Doherty, DeGraff, Degree Kennedy, Dixon, Duran, English, Epps, Evans, Frizzell, Froelich, Garcia, Gonzalez Gutierrez, Hamrick, Hartsook, Herod, Representative Herod. Herod's excused. Holtorf, Judah, Joseph, Kipp, Leader, Lindsay, Linstead, Luck, Representative Luck,
Excused.
Lukens, Lynch, Mabry, Marshall, Martinez, Morrow, McCormick, McLaughlin, Michelson Janae, Ortiz, Rep. Ortiz, Ortiz is excused. Parenti, sorry, Puglisi, Ricks, Sharbini, Sirota, Snyder, Soper, Story, Taggart, Titone, Valdez, Velasco, Vigil, Weinberg, Weissman, Wilford, Wilson, Winter, Woodrow, Young, and Madam Speaker.
Here. With 62 present, 3 excused, we do have a quorum. Representative Hamrick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the Journal of Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023 be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Members, you have heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes win the day. The motion is adopted. Announcements and introductions. Representative Byrd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, good morning, colleagues. I wanted to quickly announce that today is CASA Day at the Capitol. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. Members, these are highly trained volunteers who are appointed by judges to advocate for children's best interests, and they are driven by the guiding principle that children grow and develop best with their family of origin if that can be safely achieved. One CASA volunteer means one consistent adult dedicated to that child's well-being throughout that time period, and it can make a big difference The work of our CASAs help reduce the amount of time a child might spend in foster care. They work to ensure that the child and the child's family have access to vital resources and help strengthen and reunify families whenever possible. Currently, members, in Colorado, CASA serves 18 of 22 judicial districts. And in the last year, over 2,000 volunteers served 2,405 cases, representing over 4,200 children. By case closing, 88% of children were safely placed with parents or kin. That is a tremendous bit of work that they have done. I hope you have the opportunity to meet with these representatives today from your local programs. So if you see a card that says CASA, please go out, because these incredible people have very, very important stories to share with you.
Representative McLaughlin.
Good morning, Madam Speaker.
Good morning.
Okay, today in education, the calendar has been changed just a little bit, so take note. First, we will do House Bill 23-1212, then we will start with 1208 on to 1188, and then back home for the home run with 1177. So we will see you there. Thanks.
Thank you. Representative Kipp.
Good morning, Energy and Environment Committee members. I want to let you know that we were going to be hearing 3 bills today. We did have 1216 will be laid over till next Wednesday, but the other 3 bills we will actually hear today are HB 23-1242, HB 23-1233, and HB 23-1221. Thank you. Oh, and we will see you over at LSBA at 1:30 p.m.
Representative Amabile.
Oh, damn, it won't go down. Thank you, Madam Speaker. So we have Business Affairs and Labor today at 1:30. We're going to be hearing 3 bills: Senate Bill 60, Senate Bill 58, and Senate Bill 17, and we will be starting at 1:30 sharp. Thanks.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Another agricultural fact of the week out of my district. In Huerfano County's modern-day agricultural roots stem largely from Hispano shepherds moving into the area in the 1860s from the San Luis Valley, bringing sheep grazing to the region. Today, Huerfano County's primary commodities consist of hay and cattle.
Representative English.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. I have some special guests here with me this morning that I would like to introduce to you all. We had the CASB Winter Conference a few weeks ago, but because of the snowstorm, my students weren't able to come. So this morning, I have my student leadership strand from Harrison School District 2, which I am proud to still be a board member in that district, making sure we're putting our students first so that they can receive the high quality education that they deserve. So I have students from Harrison High School, Sierra High School, and they're 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. So I would like for you all to stand and be recognized. I'm sorry, and they have one of our staff members with them too. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative English. Members, we have some business to attend to. Mr. Schiebel, reports of committees of reference.
Committee on Business Affairs and Labor, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends following. Senate Bill 146 be amended as followed and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. Committee on Education, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends following. House Bill 1213 as amended and 1246 be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Committee on Judiciary, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends following. Senate Bill 168 be amended as followed and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 170 be amended as followed and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Committee on Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1203 be postponed indefinitely. Senate Bill 83 be amended as followed and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the
Message
Senate
from the
appoints-
Senate will be printed in the journal.
Speaker McCluskey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Members, we have a tribute, and I ask that it be read at length.
The Senate and House of Representatives convened in the 74th General Assembly hereby recognizes the 50th anniversary of the Eisenhower Tunnel's opening. The Eisenhower Tunnel opened 50 years ago on March 8, 1973, as an alternative to the winding U.S. 6th Highway over Loveland Pass. At an average elevation above 11,000 feet, the Eisenhower Tunnel and subsequent Johnson Memorial Tunnels are the highest vehicular tunnels in the U.S. and among the highest in the world, and they serve as a vital transportation connector for the state and the interstate highway system. The engineering feat took 6,000 employees 5 years to complete and removed more than 1 million cubic yards of material. One of these employees was Janet Bonema, the first woman to work on the Eisenhower Tunnel as an engineering technician and helped pave the way forward for women to enter into the STEM fields. The tunnel has provided reliable access west and led to the development and internationally renowned ski resorts such as Keystone, Copper Mountain, Vail, and Beaver Creek, plus a major expansion at Breckenridge, aiding interstate and intrastate commerce and leading to incalculable economic development. Today, a dedicated crew of more than 30 full-time workers work at the tunnel facility, from around-the-clock television surveillance, emergency response, tunnel cleaning, snow removal, heavy equipment servicing and repair, and water treatment. The CDOT tunnel crew also serves as firefighters, complete with fire trucks and firefighting equipment to respond immediately to incidents. Today, the Colorado General Assembly proudly recognizes the 50th anniversary of the opening of the Eisenhower Tunnel. On request of the Western Slope representatives Julie McCluskey, Matthew Soper, Mark Catlin, Barbara McLaughlin, Megan Lukens, Rick Taggart, and Elizabeth Velasco, and Senators Dylan Roberts, Cleve Simpson, and Perry Will, given this 23rd day of March 2023, State Capitol, Denver.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, and it's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you.
Madam Speaker, members, and CDOT delegation, today we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the opening of the Eisenhower Tunnel, which goes under the Continental Divide on the I-70 corridor. At 11,155 feet above sea level, Eisenhower Tunnel is the highest vehicular tunnel in the world and the longest mountain tunnel in North America. On this date, back in 1968, was when construction began on the tunnel. The project even featured an element of women's rights movement, as one of the female engineers had to sue CDOT just to be able to work underground inside the tunnel. She won and paved the way for women in STEM studies and for CDOT to have a female executive director that we have here today. The Eisenhower Tunnel was a major accomplishment in 1973 of the National Interstate Highway System, but it also is symbolically linking the Front Range and the Western Slopes in a way that had never been done before. It had taken many hours to go over Loveland Pass and then Black Bear Pass that was renamed to Vail Pass. All this changed when the tunnel opened and the interstate was completed through. In 1979, the Johnson Tunnel was completed, and the two tunnels have a team of engineers, first responders, maintenance crews, who work round the clock on the 1.6-mile-long tunnels. Back in 1973, motorists for the first time could rapidly transit from the mountains and Plateau Valley communities on the western slope to the state capital and cities up and down the Front Range. The tunnel helped rapidly expand Colorado's then-fledgling ski industry and ensured that places like Vail, Beaver, Creek, Aspen, and Breckenridge would become favorite holiday destinations for domestic and international tourists. The tunnel also ensured that market access in a timely manner for the Western Slope farmers and ranchers and other businesses. As someone who travels through the Eisenhower Tunnel twice a week, I can tell you that it's not just an example of modern engineering. It's the gateway to God's country and the majestic beauty that is the reason why so many people come and visit and stay in our great state.
Speaker McCluskey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. And members, as we pay tribute to the tunnel, it is far more important that we pay tribute to our amazing team of workers with Colorado Department of Transportation. I want to recognize the delegation that is here today. As our tribute and my colleague have described, the Eisenhower Tunnel was a monumental feat to build and opened up Colorado for east-west travel. to my colleague from the Eastern Plains, who so often talks about the gap, the need to bridge the rural-urban divide, the tunnel is a clear and visible product of what it means to bring Denver a bit closer to the western slope. And yes, this is how we connect Denverites, urbanites, the rest of the world to our amazing outdoor resources and all of our goods and people, particularly those working in agriculture. You know, my job would be nearly impossible without the tunnel. I can't even imagine how many hours we would spend on the road if the tunnel were not there. And for all those that are accessing our ski slopes, our rivers, our mountains, and the rest of the West, the western half of the United States, I-70 and the tunnel are critical. Constructed in the 1970s, as Representative Soper mentioned, a challenge to complete. We pay tribute to the many workers who, in dangerous, challenging weather, with extraordinary geological impacts, had to deal with the construction, the engineering of a first-of-its-kind tunnel. And Janet Bonema, the development of the tunnel, as my colleague said, she was a first. That tunnel paved the way for women in an industry, in a field that was not often open to so many of them. She had to overcome many barriers first, including her supervisors excluding her from working, fighting her case in court, and once winning, still being shunned by those who were her colleagues. It's her perseverance that the Eisenhower Tunnel embodies, and a great way for us to see how she brought 434 million vehicles through the tunnel to the western slope, an average of 35,000 cars a day. So, may the tunnel always remain a way to connect us to the great outdoors, the Colorado way of life, and a way to connect our urban and rural communities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further announcements and introductions, Majority Leader Duran. Okay, looks like we do have one more item in the announcements and introductions category. Representative Bacon.
Thank you. I'd like to ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Please proceed.
Thank you, members. Up here are the Denver delegation. We would like to thank you for your grace, especially earlier for the moment of silence in regards to the incidents that happened yesterday at Denver East High School. Today, we will have likely students, parents, and community members on our steps to address what happened yesterday. And I think the personal privilege that I'd like to ask for beyond being here with my colleagues who might share is that we all acknowledge that communities have to face things together that are very painful and very tough. And even though we may have political conversations for decades, today is the day to receive people, to allow people to emote, to allow people to grieve as the lives of two very special educators were put in jeopardy yesterday. And a child did lose his life. And so again, to provide the space for the processing, the receiving, the emoting, as many of us are parents, not just thinking about our kids in the building, but thinking about if our kids may also have some issues that we need to work out with our schools. Everyone is feeling. And so we have obviously tremendous power and responsibilities. But again, we need to be able to receive and process. So we have asked for a moment of silence earlier in our prayer. But as the Denver community comes to you, not only today and tomorrow, let's be sure also that we not only hug our loved ones, but that we talk to each other as well. So I'll again say thank you for your attention. And please keep the Denver East community in your hearts and their spirits. And let's figure out what we can do as a matter of resources in the immediate to deal with the pain and provide ourselves spaces at another time to talk about next steps. So if anyone else from the Denver delegation would like to share. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you all for your attention.
Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I'd like to proceed out of order for reading of third bills.
Seeing no objection, we will proceed out of order to third reading of bills. Mr. Shebo, please read the title to Senate Bill 110.
Senate Bill 110 by Senators Marchman and Zenzinger, also Representatives Kipp and Taggart, concerning transparency for metropolitan districts.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move Senate Bill 110 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 110 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 40 aye, 24 no, and 1 excuse, Senate Bill 110 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1181.
House Bill 1181 by Representative Morrow, also Senators Henriksen and Mullica, concerning the regulation of guaranteed asset protection agreements.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1181 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1181 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representatives Bockenfeld, Catlin, Hartsook. Please close the machine. With 50 aye, 14 no, and 1 excused, House Bill 1181 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title of House Bill 1204.
House Bill 1204 by Representatives Lindstedt and Weinberg, also Senator Priola, concerning the discharge of a client from a recovery residence.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move for House Bill 1204 on third reading and final passage.
Members, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1204 on third reading, final passage. Representative Luck.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So I am up here because I am very conflicted about this bill. I agree with the underlying policy. I think that all of these recovery programs should have this type of policy in place. What I struggle with is the government telling them that they're required to have this in place. Why I am conflicted, though, is because, you see, I am of the opinion that the right to contract, the right to property should be more honored in our state than it is. And the more we regulate, the more problems we create. And so we created a problem by regulating in this space and leaving this as a gap. And now we have individuals who are afraid to walk in that gap. They're afraid to innovate in that space. Even though we're a code state, which says that if it's not in the book, you have license, you have freedom, we understand that you have freedom to do whatever you need to do in this. And so it puts me in this predicament. I will be voting yes on this bill, but I just need to state for the record that it bothers me we create these problems that then we have to come in and continue to fix. When I was teaching, I saw how when I didn't do things for my students, they would raise to the level of expectation that I had. But the more that I did for them, the more they expected me to do for them. And I think kind of the same situation applies here. The more we regulate, the more we tell people this is how you should do, the more we micromanage in any particular area, the more people expect us to micromanage in an area and tell them you have to have this and you have to have that. And I feel that that does not actually, and I shouldn't use feel, I have I think that that creates a community and a citizenry that is not what we actually would desire. And so I want to honor the bill sponsor for putting this forward and fixing this problem, but I also want to recognize that this is a problem that we're having to fix because we intervened in this space to begin with, and folks now need us to speak into it because otherwise they're left without real understanding and real solutions, and I think that's problematic. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1204 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 52 aye, 12 no, and 1 excused, House Bill 1204 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to Senate Bill 52.
Senate Bill 52 by Senator Henriksen, also Representatives Martinez and Morrow, concerning a municipal priority lien that a county treasurer is required to accept for collection if a municipality follows a specified procedure.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 52 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 52 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Young. Please close the machine. With 47 ayes, 17 no, and 1 excused, Senate Bill 52 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that the following bills be added to the special orders calendar at 9:42 a.m. House Bill 1206, House Bill 1026, Senate Bill 146, House Bill 1036, Senate Bill 93, and Senate Bill 83.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. What time did you call out?
9:42.
Perfect. Seeing no objection, the bills listed by the Majority Leader will be added to the special orders calendar at 9:42 a.m. Representative Ricks. Members, you have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, the House will now resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders. Representative Ricks will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request for reading a bill at length. Committee reports are printed in your bill folders. Flow amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the Majority Leader. The coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title of House Bill 1206.
House Bill 1206 by Representative Marshall, concerning individuals employed by government in the field of law enforcement and in connection therewith, requiring that sheriffs in certain counties possess a bachelor's degree or higher, requiring that candidates for the offices of county sheriff and district attorney petition onto the ballot, and prohibiting certain political activities by county sheriff's office employees.
Representative Marshall.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you.
I move House Bill 23-1206 as amended.
To the bill.
Colleagues, this is a repeat of what we had done yesterday, but I believe one of our colleagues has proposed an amendment that we will be looking at here. So I move Amendment L015 to House Bill 1206.
That is a proper motion. Okay. And we'll wait for the bill to be displayed. I mean, the amendment to be displayed. The amendment is displayed. Representative Marshall.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is an amendment proposed by our colleagues from Douglas County and from the southeast part of Colorado. With every bill and law, some things are over-inclusive and under-inclusive, and they were worried there was some okay behavior that would be swept up in the bill. So we loosened it a bit, so there's probably some behavior that would not be okay that may still slip through, but I think this is a good compromise and takes care of some of our colleagues' valid concerns about some behavior that may have been swept up that would have been okay.
Representative Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you.
Thank you. Colleagues, yesterday I spoke at length regarding subparagraph G in this bill that stipulated the use of county public buildings or facilities for meetings or preparation of campaign activity in support of any particular candidate, party, or measure was disallowed. We're very concerned because in many cases around this state, those are the only locations, county facilities are the only locations that are available and can accommodate large groups of people. And so I'm grateful to the bill sponsor who has we've worked together on this language that is much more specific. It disallows the use of public buildings, facilities, or spaces that are dedicated or under the exclusive control of law enforcement that are not regularly available to the general public. I would ask for your aye vote on this amendment.
Is there any further discussion on L015? Seeing none, L015, all those, I'm sorry, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. L015 is passed. To the bill. Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move Amendment L016 to House Bill 1206 and ask that it be properly displayed.
That is a proper motion.
Thank you.
And L016 is displayed. To the amendment.
Thank you. For
Representative
reasons I
Winter.
discussed yesterday, in especially small counties, there's a lot of times that sheriff or deputy may have to jump in their vehicle right away and get to scene. I'm just trying to close this where there could be some, I guess, political push against them for, doing something that necessarily isn't done on purpose. So I would just ask for an aye vote on this. Thank you.
Is there any, Representative Marshall?
I understand some of the concerns of my colleagues, but with this last second change, I'm thinking it through, and I believe that it would be carving out an issue that really I don't think will be an issue if we think it through. So I urge a no vote on this amendment, please.
Is there any further discussion on L016? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of L016 to House Bill 1206. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it. L016 fails. To the bill, Representative Marshall. A division has been called. No? Okay, we're going to continue to the bill, Representative Marshall.
Again, move House Bill 23-1206 as amended and request an aye vote on this bill. It's a good governance bill on its merits, and we have had a lot of pushback from the sheriffs. No one likes to have restrictions on their ability to do anything, but this is a restriction, I think, that is in the best long-term interest for law enforcement to increase trust in their ability to enforce the law for us. So I urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1206. All those in favor say aye. Aye. As amended. All those opposed say no. No. The ayes have it. House Bill 1206 passes as amended. Mr. Shebo. Oops. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move House Bill 1026 and Senate Bill 146 to the end of the calendar.
House Bill 1026 will be moved to the end of the calendar. And Senate Bill 146 will be moved to the end of the calendar. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Shebo, please read the title of House Bill 1036.
House Bill 1036 by Representative McLaughlin, concerning measures designed to encourage the use of non-toxic bullets for hunting.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the surprise. I didn't know I was canceling all those in front of me. Yes, I move House Bill 1036 on second reading, and I move the education report and the agriculture, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, approps and ag. I'm sorry about that. The appropriation and the agriculture report. Yeah.
Thank you. To the committee reports. To the appropriation reports.
In appropriations, we took off and made and had the state will pay only for the education, and other non-governmental entities will be paying for the vouchers.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the appropriations report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The appropriations report is passed. To the committee report.
Yes, in education, it was quite, in ag, I can't remember where I am sometimes.
Ag.
In the ag report, after a lot of constituent and stakeholder work, we cut the bill back significantly and made it a pilot program in only certain aspects of the state, and changed kind of what we needed to do. So the state will be doing education. It'll be mostly in education and vouchers for replacement bullets.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the ag report. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it.
Could barely hear, sorry.
The ag report is passed. To the bill. Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, this bill is, I took a look at some of the lead bills we've been running lately, and lead is a very, very dangerous substance to have in a human body. So I looked at lead bullets in particular, and people think that when you shoot an animal and the lead bullet is in there, that you can just remove the lead, but actually the lead bullets spread quite a distance. And the hunter could be ingesting this lead and get very, very sick. The hunter's family, pregnant wives, pets who eat the meat, the bald eagles who eat the meat, small game that eats the meat, all of them could be contaminated with lead. So this is to, with the amendment, this is completely voluntary. There's no mandate to any of this. But people can trade in or look at, get vouchers for non-lead bullets. Usually they're made of copper, and they do not contaminate the meat as much as the lead bullets do.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1036? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1036 as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1036 passes. Mr. Shebo? Oh, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move Senate Bill 93 until tomorrow.
Based on the Majority Leader, Senate Bill 93 will be moved off the calendar until tomorrow. Mr. Shebo, please read the title for Senate Bill 83.
Senate Bill 83 by Senators Winter F. and Simpson, also Representatives Winter T. and Michelson Janae, concerning an expansion of a physician's assistant ability to practice and in connection therewith, changing the relationship between a physician's assistant and a physician or podiatrist from supervision to collaboration.
Representative
Michelson
Janae.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is an honor to serve with you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My honor as well.
I move Senate Bill 83 and the Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services Committee report.
As properly moved to the Public Health report.
In the Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services Committee, we did an amendment that worked very hard to meet all the needs of those concerned about this bill. And while I don't think we got there 100%, we did get a very long way. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Winter.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the question before us is the passage of the Public Health and Behavior Report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The Public Health and Behavior Report is passed. To the bill. Representative Michelson Janae.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill requires a physician's assistant to have first a supervisory agreement and then, after a period of time, a collaborative agreement with a physician. Remember that the physician can determine what kind of oversight the PA needs to practice safe, quality care. This is the overarching theme of the bill. Additionally, employers require additional oversight in their practice settings. PAs will be required to collaborate with physicians on a myriad of issues and must refer to the patients when the patient presents conditions that they are not educated or trained to provide care for. We have worked tirelessly with the opponents of the bill, accepting many of their amendments, first in the Senate and now in the House, including creating tighter restrictions in level 1 and 2 trauma centers and additional hours of supervision when they change practice areas to move into the emergency department. This is a modest bill that will allow PAs to retain their skill set regardless of the doctors they are collaborating with. We have heard many stories and among PAs in urban and rural areas who are hamstrung by the current law. And this bill will alleviate that to ensure PAs can continue to provide quality, safe care to the extent of their scope.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My colleague standing next to me, there was extensive stakeholdering done in this bill. There was a lot of give and a lot of take, but not much giving from the other side. And it was kind of upsetting yesterday in committee that we sat there and there was some disingenuous comments made about this bill and the trauma centers, and that there would be no doctors and people wouldn't be receiving quality care, and that just isn't true. We found the CDPHE rules on this, and I just want you all to be reassured that the language was in there. Of course, I'm going to pitch for rural Colorado. I'm not necessarily saying this is going to fix all of our problems, but this is definitely going to help fill some gaps that we see. And yesterday we heard compelling testimony from doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, and federally qualified health centers. They shared why this piece of legislation is necessary to ensure that PAs can and should continue to practice their skills and the education that they have gained over the years to continue to provide safe, quality care to their patients. So an urgent aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 83. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 83 passes.
Good job.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to proceed out of order for Senate Bill 146.
Senate Bill 146 will be put on the calendar right now. Mr. Shebo, please read the title of Senate Bill 146.
Senate Bill 146 by Senator Danielson, also Representatives Leader in English. Concerning updates to the Colorado State Apprenticeship Resource Directory.
Okay. We're going to take, the committee will take a brief recess.
Okay, no, they won't accept the amendment.
The committee will come back to order. Yes. Okay. Representative Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. An honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you as well.
So I move House Bill 23-146 and the committee, Senate Bill 23-146 and the committee report.
To the committee report. Representative Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We added an amendment in committee due to a group of stakeholders who reached out to me and said that they were late to the table and asked if we could meet. We met and they asked for a couple tweaks in the language. And that is the result of an amendment L003, since the bill passed out of the Senate with no amendments.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Oh, Representative Taggart.
Can I speak to the amendment?
Yes, Madam Chair, it's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you, Representative Taggart.
I move L006 as an amendment to the committee report. And
That
I
is the
ask
proper
it be
motion.
displayed.
And the amendment is displayed. To the amendment, Representative Taggart.
Let me first start by saying I am a big proponent of apprenticeships and have had the ability over my career to utilize apprenticeships to great success. Having listened, though, yesterday to speakers on this particular bill, one of the concerns was that they were being asked to do mathematical equations and it was going to add to their time, and it wasn't necessary because the software in behind this that our labor and employment group has can do those calculations for them. So this amendment is just strictly, in several cases, takes away the word percentage and puts in number so that the companies and associations that are filling in this information just are filling in raw data. As well, at the bottom of the amendment, I ask that we add an additional field that shows not only in the original amendment of the committee report, it had the lowest wage, the highest wage, and most of us want to always see the average wage. And we make our decisions around the average wage more than we do around the highest or lowest. And I ask for your support on this substitute amendment.
Representative Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in support of this amendment, L006. I, too, am a big proponent of apprenticeships, especially with the workforce challenges that we currently have. That said, we should not create a burden on our businesses for providing these opportunities. And the bill as written adds a lack of clarity for those businesses that are participating. This data is already provided and really needs to be not a calculated amount, but just simply the raw data. So again, please vote aye on this amendment. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Leader.
I asked for a no vote. This has been stakeholdered, and it came from the Senate without any. Thank you.
Thank you. So the question before us is the passage of L006 as an amendment to Senate Bill 146. Division has been called. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so a division, the question before is the adoption of L006. A division has been requested. All those in the chamber not entitled to vote, please be seated. All those in favor of amendment L006, please stand and remain standing or raise your hand and keep it raised until the count is taken. You may be seated. All those opposed, please stand and remain standing in one place until the count is taken. You may be seated. L006 fails. To the bill. Back to the committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I said, we added the amendment in committee due to stakeholdering. Basically, the amendment, all it does is page 3, line 14, it strikes these percentages for each year and substitutes these percentages for each of the previous 5 years. This simply updates the language so that the required completion rate are only provided for the previous 5 years, not for the entirety of the program's existence, as some programs have existed for decades. Page 3, line 17 and 18 strikes current journey worker wage and substitutes lowest journey worker wage and highest journey worker wage. This update allows to better reflect the range of journey worker wages in multi-employer programs which the stakeholders have. I ask for an aye vote, L003. On the committee report.
So the question before us is, the passage of the committee report from Business and Labor to Senate Bill 146. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The committee report passes. To the bill. Representative Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And members of the committee, today I bring before you Senate Bill 23-146. What this bill does is it clarifies the information sources and types within the original statute for the Office of the Future of Work to be positioned to capture meaningful and accurate data that will inform the state apprenticeship expansion efforts and align with the implementation of the state apprenticeship agencies. The background here is just registered apprenticeship is the oldest earn and learn model that combines paid on-the-job training with classroom instruction in a variety of industries. A registered apprenticeship means that the program is industry vetted and approved and validated by the U.S. Department of Labor or a state apprenticeship agency with a portable, nationally recognized credential. Colorado is a national leader in registered apprenticeship expansion. In addition to the skilled trades, the state is developing registered apprenticeships in IT, healthcare, early childhood learning, and many others. CDLE houses the state apprenticeship agency, which is statutorily mandated to begin registering apprenticeship programs July 1st of 2023, per House Bill 21-1007 and Senate Bill 23051. With that, I pass to my co-prime chair, Rep. English.
Representative English.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you.
In 2019, Senate Bill 171 created the Colorado State Apprenticeship Resource Directory to provide a complete searchable list of registered apprenticeship programs in the state and expand access to information on apprenticeship pathways. Many students are not aware of apprenticeships. The directory promotes registered apprentice programs and provides transparency to the public regarding these opportunities in Colorado. There is no personal identifiable information in the directory. It only provides information on the apprenticeship themselves. Senate Bill 23-146 builds on the important work that has been done by ensuring that the information included in the directory is complete and accurate. The directory includes information on program costs and completion rates so that individuals can make an informed decision about enrolling in registered apprenticeship programs. Currently, when programs are asked about some of the required data points, they leave it blank, they guess, or express confusion as to why they are being asked this information. This bill would clarify those data points so that they mirror the data that is tracked in the federal database. These changes will lower the burden of data collection for apprenticeship programs and eliminate any confusion. For wrap-up, I will pass it up to my co-prime rep leader.
Representative Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 23-146 clarifies the information sources and types within the original statute of CRS S 883308 1DGH in order for the Office of the Future of Work to be positioned to capture meaningful and accurate data that will inform the state's apprenticeship expansion efforts and align with the implementation of the state apprenticeship agency. Currently, when programs are asked about these three specific data points, they either leave it blank, guess, or they're confused. So this proposal clarifies the data points, as she said, that have been confusing and inaccurate, streamlining the data collections requirement. It improves the integrity. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further question on Senate Bill 146? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 146. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, all those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill
Madam Chair.
146 is passed.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Shebo, please read the title of House Bill. Oh, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1026 until tomorrow.
House Bill 1026 will be laid over until tomorrow. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to rise and report.
Rise and report, committee. Huh? Oh, you've heard the motion. The committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Shebel, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, your Committee of the Whole begs leave to report as under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof and making the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1036 as amended, 1206 as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 83 as amended, Senate Bill 146 as amended, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1026 and Senate Bill 93 laid over until March 24th, 2023.
Thank you. There are two amendments at the desk. Representative Taggart. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Shebel, please read the Taggart amendment to the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Representative Taggart moved to amend the report of the Committee of the Whole to reverse the action taken by the committee in not adopting the following Taggart Amendment L6 to Senate Bill 146 to show that said amendment passed and that Senate Bill 146 as amended passed.
Representative Taggart.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you.
I moved the Taggart Amendment to amend the report of the Committee of the Whole, Amendment 006, and I ask that it be displayed.
You may proceed.
I'm going to try one more time on this. I am very much in favor of an apprentice directory. Having said that, we had witnesses yesterday that specifically told us that all they need is for companies and associations associated with this directory to enter raw data. I even saw from my colleague a response from Labor, I believe, that said, yes, in fact, they can, through the software, calculate the percentages. Why is that important? If you want to accumulate numbers from several companies by adding up percentages as compared to adding up raw data and doing the calculation, you can get an error by just averaging the percentages because they're not weighted percentages. They're individual percentages. And so if the software can do that, why in heaven's name are we asking the employers to put those percentages in? And the second part of this amendment, I will again state, we as people that run companies always want to know what the average or the mean or the median is for wages. We don't just look at the high and the low. Many of us will throw the high and the low out because they're extremes. So all this does is improve this directory and reduce time for the people entering the information. So first and foremost, we reduce the time, and secondly, and equally as important, that the calculations are done accurately. Thank you.
Representative. Representative Leader.
I ask again for a no vote. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of the Taggart Amendment to the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 21 aye, 42 no, and 2 excused, the Taggart Amendment is lost. Mr. Shebel, please read the Wilson Amendment to the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Representative Wilson moved to amend the report of the Committee of the Whole to reverse the action taken by the committee in not adopting the following Wilson Amendment L16 to House Bill 1206 to show that said amendment passed and that House Bill 1206 as amended passed.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Amendment 1206 to amend the report of the Committee of the Whole and ask to be properly displayed.
Please proceed.
Thank you. On this, it's just a technical fix. All I'm looking for here is try to cover those sheriffs that, maybe lending a vehicle out to a deputy in counties that don't have a full fleet and then has to run on scene and could have some political backlash to it. I urge a yes vote, please.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you. I ask for a yes vote on this amendment also. This is a very simple amendment. We really took out basically, I think, 3 or 4 words. Just to clarify, since it was not defined in the bill what the automobile type was, whether it was personal or governmental, this took it out so that it would not be in question. In our rural areas, we have sheriffs that have to use their personal vehicle. They should not be stopped from their First Amendment rights of having paraphernalia on their vehicle. We see in our own parking lot that people have their own paraphernalia on their vehicle. This would incriminate somebody for something the rest of us can get away with.
Representative Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I ask for a no vote on this. I believe the concerns are overblown. There's a carve-out specifically for the sheriffs for this issue, and we can consider later. So please vote no. Thank you.
Representative Wilson.
Why would sheriff's personal vehicles be the only vehicles that this applies to?
Representative Marshall.
Again, the carve-out for the sheriffs, I believe my colleague is misinterpreting that the Hatch Act that we have is applying to the deputies in the department. The sheriffs have a carve-out that they only cannot be engaged in partisan political activity while in uniform or with government property. So they shouldn't be rolling up in a government vehicle with partisan stickers on that department vehicle.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of the Wilson Amendment to the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. I'm just waiting. Please close the machine. With 19 aye, 44 no, and 2 excused, the Wilson Amendment is lost. That brings us back to the report of the Committee of the Whole. The question before us is the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representatives Wilson and Winter, please vote. Please close the machine. With 45 aye, 18 no, and 2 excused, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. And I just realized I never gave Representative Ricks the opportunity to make the motion, so I think I may have skipped that process. Should we? Okay. Sorry about that confusion, everyone. Representative Ricks. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, unless there is objection, we will assume that we're, okay. Our chief clerk is double checking something for us. Okay, just to be extra safe here, we're going to go ahead and do that one more time on the vote of the report, not the amendments, just the report. So the question before us is the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. I'll find myself $5 for that. Representative Froelich, please vote. Please close the machine. With 44 aye, 19 no, and 2 excused, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to proceed out of order for consideration of Senate amendments to House bills.
Seeing no objection, we will proceed out of order. As requested by the Majority Leader, Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1030.
House Bill 1030 by Representatives Sirota and Soper, also Senator Henriksen, concerning a prohibition against requiring compensation to a healthcare staffing agency if a contracted healthcare facility hires the healthcare staffing agency's employee as a permanent employee of the healthcare facility.
Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move that the House reject Senate amendments to House Bill 1030 and that a conference committee be appointed.
The question before us is to reject the Senate amendments to House Bill 1030 and that a conference committee be appointed. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members please proceed to vote. Representatives Lindsay and Young, please vote. Please close the machine. With 60 aye votes, 3 no votes, and 2 excused, the motion to reject the Senate amendments to House Bill 1030 passes. Which brings us back to announcements and introductions. Are there any additional announcements and introductions? Representative Judah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Members, today is the first day of Ramadan. There are 100,000 Muslims in Colorado. There's 65 of us. Ergo, the chances that you have Muslims in your district is incredibly high. We fast from sunrise to sunset. We abstain from everything. Drinking anything, eating anything, chewing gum, smoking, all of the above. I have sheets on your desks that I think are pretty helpful for your districts and your Muslim constituents. If you are on medication throughout the day, if you are pregnant or breastfeeding or traveling different time zones, you are also exempt from fasting. I am on medication, so I will not be fasting for the next few days. So if you see me eating, that's why. I'm not cheating. But Ramadan Kareem, and if you have any questions, please feel free to come over and ask. Thank you.
Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Tomorrow morning, Friday at 8 a.m. in the Old State Library, House Appropriations will be meeting to hear House Bill 1019, House Bill 1205, HCR 1001, and Senate Bill 170.
Representative Amable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I forgot, because I'm old, I think, that we will not be hearing Senate Bill 1058, which helps old people.
Representative Kipp.
Thank you, members. We are at that point in session where schedules evolve quickly. So while I made an announcement this morning, we are laying over yet another bill in energy and environment today. So here is what we are not hearing and what we are hearing. We are laying over 1216 and 1233 to next week, and we will be hearing HB 23-1242 and HB 23-1221 in LSBA at 1:30 p.m. Thank you for your patience.
Representative Snyder.
Good morning. Just to be clear, there will be no House Finance Committee meeting today upon adjournment. Thank you.
Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar until tomorrow.
Seeing no objection, the balance of the calendar will be laid over until tomorrow. Majority Leader Duran.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I move that the House stand in recess until later today.
Seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until later today.